Radio. Rahim here with Eddie Hearn.
Yes, Rahim.
We're spending quite a bit of time together.
Fight, weren't you?
I was at the Amir Khan fight.
yeah.
I'm going to tell you a little secret. I'm going to be at Hey Bellew next week as well. So
You're clocking up the air miles right there.
yeah, man. I'm having quite a good time. You're putting on show after show.
Bet you are.
Yeah.
You had a great time.
Yeah.
Who's paying for it all?
Well, I'm Matchroom.
Oh, right, okay.
We're sitting here to bill.
Probably are. Yeah, probably are. I wouldn't know. They just play. Yeah.
Yes. I am excited about this fight,
Yeah.
mainly because the middleweight division has somewhat opened up. Like the possibilities have changed even in this last month. So, what can Danny Jacobs accomplish by beating Zaleski on Saturday night? How does that change his position?
Well, firstly, I think you're right to be excited. I think, you know, people say, oh, Maciej Zaleski, who's this guy? Look at his career, watch him in there. This guy can fight. This guy has a life-changing opportunity on Saturday night. So this is going to be a very tough fight for Danny Jacobs. I feel like Danny Jacobs is the best middleweight in the world. And I feel like the division is spreading and moving beautifully right now. You know, you got Canelo, who is pretty much out of the game. Like, I know he's not out of the game, but like, I think in people's minds now, a lot of sort of banished him into the naughty corner. And then you got Golovkin sort of waiting for him. The winner of Jacobs-Zaleski is the mandatory for Gennady Golovkin's WBA title. You got Charlo, that's making some noise now. He's doing a great job. Good fighter. You got Derevyanchenko, who could get a shot at the IBF if that becomes vacant. And who's next in line for that? Danny Jacobs. So I think, you know, when you look at and Billy Joe Saunders, like Billy Joe Saunders is frozen right out because Golovkin's going to fight Canelo on September the 15th, and then he's not going to fight again till May. Okay, so Billy Joe's going to need a big fight at some point. But I just feel like Danny is so well placed right now, you know? and I feel like he's emerging through. We just need a dominating performance. Like, it was hard against Arias because after a couple of rounds he came to survive. But I think Sulecki's going to stand with him. He's going to fight him non-stop. And I think it's going to be a great fight. And if we can... This guy, I've got a bone to pick with you.
First of all, I like Eddie Hearn.
No, I've got a bone
I like
to
him.
pick with you.
He's a good guy, but business-wise, man, just give me the goddamn paperwork. Just give me the goddamn paperwork.
Yeah, but you got to listen to me. You think I'm joking?
No, I think you're joking, bro.
I've seen your interviews. Oh, Eddie Hearn, he ain't going to give me the Joshua fight. I'm telling you now, you put in a great performance on Saturday night. And it's not about giving you a carrot. You're going to put a great performance in anyway.
Of course.
But you make some noise. What I want you to do is knock this guy out on Saturday, look sensational, stand on a turnbuckle and come up to me in the ring and tell me, give me Joshua. Scream and shout his name.
All right, no problem. You got to tell me twice.
Right.
You got to tell me twice. I got it. Let's do it.
He just told me Joshua sucks, and it's going to be the easiest heavyweight fight title he could win.
I disagree. I think Anthony Joshua is so underrated. Like people moaning the Joseph Parker fight. Oh, he beat a guy nearly every round. This guy thought Joseph Parker won. I had to send round Varda to his house after those comments to make sure that there weren't something growing in your house. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's going on there? He outboxed Joseph, a world champion.
Cheeseburgers are natural. Right. Can't say about the protein shakes.
Yeah.
Protein shakes on the other
Mexican
side.
meat on these cheeseburgers.
It ain't crumpets and tea either, but you know.
But how do you beat Anthony Joshua?
I ain't gonna tell you. Just sign a contract.
All right.
I got it right here and right here. We got it. So it's Brooklyn, baby.
We'll see this performance. This is a
Brooklyn
good fight.
beat down.
This is a tough fight.
It is. He's tough. I know that in my mind.
I think it's a great fight.
Great fight.
Then the only way we beat him if we get a referee that is not helping him.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Well, they should be helping him. He's the local boy.
Local boy helping me.
No, but the referee.
We talking about a fight. AJ fights.
Stop.
Oh yeah. But Joshua wants to fight.
Yeah,
but listen, mate. Trust me. Joshua wants to fight on the inside. He always wants to fight on the. See those uppercuts coming in. The refs jumping in, stopping the fight.
So why he let him fight on the inside?
Speak to the referee. He's some Italian dude. I don't know him. He's not from London.
He put a matchroom check. That's all.
Don't worry about that.
Somebody knows.
You get a matchroom check on Saturday night, and then you get another one.
Shit.
All right.
Let's line him up. I knock him down.
Big Baby Miller definitely made this an inside fight.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think I know his strategy for Joshua.
You can't be mad at him sometimes.
Don't worry. Everyone gets mad at me and then they see me and they just want to give me a cuddle. It's like DeBella. Do you know what I mean?
No. DeBella, I want to beat DeBella.
Yeah.
That's my boy, though.
Yeah.
When Jarrell beat him, you're gonna move over here.
I'm already moving over here. Don't worry.
Right.
Don't worry.
He's taking over America according to his agenda.
2 weeks you're here.
Okay, so I think we got the heavyweight division somewhat summed up. I think we just figured everything out.
Yeah. I think that I love Danny Jacobs against Charlo. Yeah. I think that's a great fight. I love Jacobs against anybody for a world title because I want to really see him win a world title.
What do you think of the chances that Triple G actually gets stripped of that IBF?
I think they're going to allow the Veins fight. I don't think the IBF will sanction it, but I think they won't strip him. And I would say that they are going to start negotiations with Derevyanchenko, that he must fight him next. And obviously he won't fight him next. So the IBF could come available and it will be Derevyanchenko against Danny Jacobs.
Isn't the Saunders fight the best of the possibilities? And if so...
Depends in terms of the size. Like, I really want Danny to win a world title, but Danny makes a lot of money, right? And he's a big star over here. Billy Joe is a great fighter, but he's not a star over here yet, right? So, Billy Joe against Danny Jacobs here is not that big a fight. Danny Jacobs against Charlo here is a really big fight. Do you know what I mean? And even Derevyanchenko is a big fight because he's been in this building before. He's got a lot of support from the Eastern European community. And of course Golovkin's a huge fight, Canelo's a huge fight. So, but it's just about sort of keeping yourself relevant. It's about making a statement. That's what he's got to do on Saturday night, Danny Jacobs. He's got to make a statement in a great fight.
He said, by he I mean Jacobs, he's willing to come over to your side of the pond to face anyone.
It's very simple, Rahim, right? Is that they can't pay him anywhere near the kind of money that he's on now. And I can't pay Billy Joe the amount of money that he would want to come and fight Danny Jacobs here. That is a problem. And in these interviews, I like just to be honest and just tell you how it is. Like, Frank Warren would have a heart attack if he found out how much money Danny Jacobs was making. So would Billy Joe. Like, Billy Joe would be like, what? So, but with, like, they could never pay Danny Jacobs that money to go to England because the money's not there for that fight. Just like the money's not here for that fight because Saunders isn't established in this market. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Billy Joe would want a lot of money to fight Jacobs here, so he should. But that money's not there. Do you understand? So unless one guy was willing to take a huge pay cut, which don't really happen in boxing, then I think that fight's very, very unlikely. So we have to focus on Derevyanchenko, Charlo and Golovkin because hopefully after Saturday he will be mandatory for well, he will be if he wins.
There's two things in boxing that stop fights most often. There's not enough money, as you've just described, and there's too much money, as the problem you're having right now with Wilder and Joshua.
Maybe people think there's too much money, but the reality and fantasy are two completely different things. We're due to meet tomorrow. We're actually meeting on Friday with Al Heyman and Shirley. So I think that we'll see. I mean, I know they've already agreed the Brazil fight, or they're planning it. They've got dates here. And like that whole sickening thing with the WBC with Dillian Whyte, like that just shows you that he's fighting Brazil next, right? And what they're going to do is they're going to go, well, I'm going to fight my mandatory Dominic Brazil. Oh, how convenient. What do you mean the number 2? They ain't your mandatory. Your mandatory is the number 1, which is Dillian Whyte. So it's just another duck.
What do you think's happened there? Why would the WBC be...
I spoke to Maurizio Suleiman today and he'll be getting a lot of correspondence from us this week. They made a fight here in November between Dominic Brazil and Eric Molina. That fight was rumoured to be a final eliminator, which, like, the guys weren't the first two available in the rankings, so that shouldn't have been... So I got onto the WBC, as did the media, and said, what the hell is this fight doing as a final eliminator? You can't do that. Dillian Whyte's above thingy and he's available. So Maurizio Suleiman wrote to me and said, this fight is not a final eliminator. Okay? They wrote to the media and they said, this fight is not a final eliminator. So we have continued down the path with the WBC. We have fought for the silver title. We have paid their sanctioning fees. We defended it against Lucas Brown. We paid their sanction fees again. And he has become number 1 challenger with the WBC. Then, all of a sudden, last night, Dillian Whyte against Luis Ortiz. I looked at it, final eliminator. I thought, fair enough. I was hoping they'd make us mandatory anyway. But if you want to order a final eliminator, we understand. Luis Ortiz, bit weird, just got knocked out. Goes straight back into a final eliminator. Then I looked at the actual wording to be the 2nd mandatory. So I went back and said, who's the 1st mandatory? Oh, Dominic Brazil, because he fought a final eliminator in November. No, he didn't. And here's you telling me he didn't. Right. So we have a problem, Houston. What? But it's all very convenient because when Deontay Wilder fights Brazil, he will say, and I'm telling you this now, so that when it does happen, you'll watch this back and you'll go, hey, Uncle Eddie was right. Deontay Wilder goes, well, I'm going to deal with my mandatory, right, Dominic Brazil, and fight him in June or July, and then I'll look at the Joshua fight. Watch it unfold, watch it happen.
My question is, why would the WBC be involved in this shell game kind of shenanigans? I mean, what's their motivation?
Listen, it's not corrupt. They promise, but like one of the problems with the governing bodies are they have so many big players and big promoters to deal with, requests, and they try and keep everybody happy. They try and give everybody an opportunity. What they've done here is they've tried to give someone an opportunity. They may have told Brazil at the time that it was a final eliminator, right? And then they've been put on notice, and then it's not a final eliminator. But I've just wasted a lot of money and 6, 7, 8 months of Dillian Whyte's career chasing down the mandatory and #1 position in the WBC, whereas if I would have knew this was going to happen, I wouldn't have bothered. I would have gone another route and spent my money elsewhere, you know? So what I'm saying to the WBC is, you can't tell me that the fight's not a final eliminator. Let us chase that mandatory position, silver title, sanction fees, big fights with WBC, and then put us at the back of the queue and order a final eliminator back against a guy that's just been knocked out to say, oh, that's to the mandatory after the #2 gets his shot.
I know it's not the fight you want.
That's a great fight.
What?
We're talking about Ortiz.
Yeah,
I like the fight. I like the fight if the winner fights Deontay Wilder. So what I'm saying is, Wilder's fighting Brazil anyway, right? That's not a mandatory. Let him fight him as a voluntary. And if you want Ortiz against Whyte, we'll make that fight happen. But the winner fights the winner of Wilder against.
That's what you're trying to work out now. You know Brazil's going to happen.
Because we've also got a final eliminator with the IBF, which we're negotiating with Kubrat Pulev to be the mandatory for Joshua. But we've spent all our time and money and efforts to pursue Deontay Wilder, and now they're blocking us because they don't want Wilder. I'm talking about Wilder. Don't want Whyte to be the mandatory to get his shot. Right. That's the truth.
Wilder Ortiz. Ortiz Whyte. Is that a local fight here in Brooklyn?
Well, so,
Are we taking that over the pond?
We have massive viewing figures for Dillian Whyte's last fight. He's becoming a big star in the UK right now. Love to do Dillian Whyte against Luis Ortiz at the O2. Love to do Dillian Whyte against Kubrat Pulev at the O2. He's got big fights coming his way. He's just so impatient. He calls me like 100 times a day asking me what the fuck's going on. And this has pissed him off because we've been chasing Wilder. We've been chasing that #1 spot. We are #1. Right. So you wait #1 against #3, or sorry, #1 against #4 in a final eliminator and make #2 the mandatory.
Well, beating Ortiz in the court of public opinion, if he's able to do that, definitely puts him right there in the conversation with all these guys the way you want it to be.
Conversation anyway. I do agree it's a major statement and it's a great fight. But we have no problem taking that fight, which is high risk, if the reward's there. And the reward is that you are the mandatory for Deontay Wilder. You're not the second mandatory against a guy who's just been made mandatory for no reason. So what I'm saying is, no problem. Wilder against Brazil, do your thing. In a fight no one gives a damn about, right? But allow Ortiz against Whyte to be a final eliminator for the mandatory, for the winner of Brazil against Wilder.
And lastly, you mentioned Friday is the big meeting. You're meeting with the big guy. You've cut out some of the middleman in the conversations on public, social media. Obviously, we know one thing you don't have to worry about is Al Heyman tweeting you or Instagramming you.
The problem is that I made an offer to them. I didn't mention the offer. I didn't mention the number. They came straight out and spoke in the media. And what happens is someone tells like Lou DiBella, who has nothing to do with it. Lou DiBella starts making all these, and then it becomes like Joshua starts going, why are these guys like chatting shit in public? Why aren't we just negotiating this fight? So then I don't get a response to the offer. It's been over 2 weeks since the offer, right? I don't get a response to the offer. I'm told we're going to get a counter offer about 10 days ago. No counter offer. So now I'm saying, look, can we meet? They've agreed to meet. It's supposed to be tomorrow. They've put it back to Friday. No problem. But like, it's really annoying when people say Joshua's ducking people. Like, you know Joshua, right? He wants to fight everybody. He wants to fight Deontay Wilder. We can't do a lot more than continue to make offers, continue to request meetings. But when we're being told that this place is booked out for Wilder against Brazil, it's kind of like, why are we wasting our time? Let's just fight Povetkin or White or someone that actually wants to fight, because that's all Josh wants to do.
When you sit across the table from Al Haymon, the two head honchos on both respective sides, you feel like you can just hammer this out? I mean, I know you guys work well together. You have a good relationship. You're both decision makers.
They're never going to like the deal that Joshua wants. That's just the way it is in every fight. You know what I mean? But it's there to be negotiated. It's there to be creative, to come up with ideas. The fact is that Joshua can fight anybody and make a load of money. Deontay Wilder can't. But Deontay Wilder's got what we want, which is the final piece of the jigsaw. But when you make him an offer of 5 or 6 times, you know, he's going to make $2.5–3 million to fight Brazil, right? We give him $5 million to fight White, or $12.5 million to fight AJ. If he beats AJ, there'll be a rematch, and he'll probably make $25 million in a rematch, right? So whatever way you look at it, he's going to make over $35 million probably in 2 fights if he wins. He's making $2.5 million a fight. Like, if you believe you're going to win, like, I know you got to get what you feel you deserve, and you can't just be mugged off and just accept an offer that you feel is. But it's not like double. This is not 3 times. It's not 4 times. It's over 5 times his highest purse. So it's a weird one. It's a weird one. And I believe Wilder wants to fight. I do. But I have to say, they are showing absolutely no signs whatsoever of wanting this fight. Because I'd be here today. Like, if I was Deontay Wilder's team and he told me he wanted that fight, the minute Eddie Hearn walks in this door, I would be here. I would be Shirley Winkle and Al Haymon. I'll be here to see me go and talk back there. Right, how long's he here for? He's here till Sunday. Right, let's go on him. You know? Instead it's me going, can we meet? I'll come back to you. Oh yeah, Thursday. Okay, great. Oh, can we do Friday instead? Okay. But it's like I'm having to put the effort in to make the fight, which is fine, no problem, because we want it. But let me see the effort back to make the fight, if, like you say, you do want it.
There's no fight wanted more in my comment section, in my DMs, on every time we have this conversation.
Sliding in your DMs right now.
Not the kind of way you would like. It's a lot of knuckleheads, a lot of guys. It's not the kind of DMs that you get.
Good luck.
You know what I mean?
I'm too old. Every now and again, I like go to my Instagram. You know, like people. I'm like, no. It's like, you prick, you con man, you wanker. You know, it's like, okay.
Well, I'm going to wish you luck on Friday night, or Friday, whenever you have this meeting. I'm wishing Al Haymon and his camp luck.
The thing is, he's like, it's probably nothing's going to happen there. On Friday at the weigh-in, everyone's going to be like, whoa. It's like, I can't going to tell you anything anyway, so we'll see.
I expect after the fight Saturday night, you're going to get in the middle of the ring, the spotlight's going to hit you, and you're going to announce the fight.
I don't think it'll be Saturday, but listen, it's a deal that can move very quickly. Probably not Saturday, but, you know.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Radio Rahim, never moving that quickly with you because we always have so much to talk about, but I always appreciate the time and the candor. Radio Rahim with Eddie Hearn here in Brooklyn at the Barclays Saturday night for Danny Jacobs and Selesky. Jacob Selesky, Saturday night, Brooklyn, Barclay. Radio Rahim, Eddie Hearn will be there. You be there too. That's corny.